Thanks for coming down and hanging out with me in the basement today. This is part 2 of the General Locomotive series. This is kind of all the behind the scenes hard work I did to get this thing running good and smoking good. Now, to be truthful, I'm not a really big fan of smoke in locomotives. I think it looks amazing, just not something for me. But it was definitely fun to get this one working, and it took more work than I expected. Certainly hope you enjoy this video, and let me know what you think. Okay, let's get started. First off, just to make it easier, I'm going to remove the tether. This has got a multi-pin plug here. Pull that out, lift this off, and the very heavy tender comes away. Alright, here we go here. We're just going to toss it upside down. And in the instructions, it says to remove the shell first, which is 4 screws. Actually, excuse me, there. This one, that one, I do believe. Make sure here, yep. Okay, got a really long screwdriver. Better than nothing. But it's good quality Klein screwdriver, so it'll work good. Well, there was a screw there, and it's gone. I didn't see... Oh, that is crazy. Sitting right on the end of the screw. Jeez, that's hilarious. I also downloaded a parts manual for this. I don't really need it right now, but it's one of those things that's handy to have. Okay, so we got a cupped washer. And then there's a flat washer behind it, and a spring. Alright, important not to lose those. I'll probably just pull this guy off so it's not in our way, and then I can lubricate it correctly. Hopefully this circlip won't go flying, otherwise I'll be in trouble. Good. Alright, now the body should lift off. We'll see if we did it correctly. Ah, there we go. She's a little sticky. Interesting. I did not expect that at all. Alright, so we got part of it undone. Guess I just need to use a little force. Alright, there it goes. Tight fit. Really tight fit. Pays to read the instructions, otherwise I would have pulled up way too much. Alright, and it said there was a little harness here for the headlight, so I don't want to break those wires, because I don't want to repair them. Let's see what we can do. Let's get the pliers in there. Alright, here we go. Get these guys in here, carefully. Beautiful. Alright, let's take a look at the shell. Nice, that's really pretty. Nicely painted. Looks good. Alright. There's that. Now, let's see what we got here. This is the trigger wheel, or optical wheel, so it can maintain a constant speed. That's pretty cool. Got the smoke unit here. Might pop that apart too. Alright, so let's pull off this sucker. And hopefully add some grease if we need it. This engine doesn't look like it's been run a lot. But I bought it used off an auction site, not eBay. No box, which is kind of a bummer. I do like boxes, but... Alright, let's see if we can get this guy off here. Gentle prying. Oh, all motor lifts up. Alright. Well, we've got plenty of grease in there. I'm just going to get a little bit of that excess up here. It's not hard or anything. Still quite soft. We'll just get some of it on there. That looks plenty good. We don't want any pinched wires, so none of them are pinched. Let's see here. Look at the motor. Motor looks good. I'll put a little bit of oil on the motor shaft. Probably doesn't need it, but we'll put a little bit right in here. I don't see where that screw on the bottom really holds anything in. It says grease, but maybe you're supposed to put a little extra grease in there and it's supposed to squirt it in there or something. Weird. Alright, let's get this back on. Make sure it sits flush, make sure we're not pinching any wires. All looks good to me. Make sure those guys are staying out of the way. And with these, well, it's going into metal, but it helps if you twist the screw backwards till it finds its home. You don't want to cross thread these guys. All right, let's see here. Let's lubricate some of these pivot points here. I know I'm getting a little bit extra on here, but I'll wipe it off. Of course, my needle gun is out of lubricant. This is the kind of lubricant I like to use for some of this stuff. This is 3-in-1 motor oil. Very important to use motor oil, not household oil. This has less paraffin in it, and it's less likely to get gummed up after a few years. But basically, the main thing is that you lubricate it. You don't want to use WD-40 or any other spray product. But I just like to have just a little bit in there at a time. But the main thing is you lubricate stuff. That's what's most important. Alrighty, get a little bit on here. Lubricate some pivots like they say to do. Alright, it's a little difficult to get in there and actually lubricate the axle. There's not that much room. I need is like a really tiny oiler, which I don't have. Or we could maybe sneak in through the wheel. Well, that might work. Let's do that. Okay, that goes right. That just slides right on there. Pivots all over the place on this thing. Okay, that's good. As long as there's a thin film, that is the main thing. Alright, good. Excellent. Alright, those are working good. Now let's take apart the smoke unit like it says in the manual. I wouldn't even thought of doing it. Okay. Let's remove these screws and inspect things. Very carefully, without cutting it. I'm trying to get this gasket up. There's a gasket right underneath the, we already got a little rip right there. That's the motor and the fan right there. Interesting. Totally separate housing. Disconnect this connector on the back. Alright. Bone dry. But at least it's, well, a little burnt there. Not terrible. Alrighty. Now we know. Okay, as I was putting the body shell back on, a couple things I was thinking of. First, you gotta line these guys up with the front pilot. Get those in there. That's pretty straightforward. But there's this yellow wire that was close to getting pinched, and it's like, I don't like where that's going. And I looked real close. Something's been rubbing on this wheel. So, probably this yellow wire right here. So I'm going to reroute that best I can. And we'll see if we can get this sucker back together. Yeah, this guy has to tuck inside. It wasn't outside before, just when I had the motor off for greasing it. I couldn't see that it was in the way. Okay, got it all back together. I have not tested it out yet, but let's get some of this hot chocolate in there. I know it's a Lionel brand, this is an MTH, but I don't think it's going to blow up because of it. Get some of this sticky oil off of the paintwork here. I will have to get some of that JT Mega Seam stuff, but I think this will work. $15 to $20. Okay, here we go. Alright, time to see if I turned it into a brick. Alright, let's turn on the smoke feature, which is a switch on the tender. There I can hear the fan going. That's a good sign. Oh, there it goes. It's smoking. Nice. Let's try moving it a little bit. Turn my voltage down. Nice, that's cool. I like that. That's really neat. Alright. And the tender comes off because I didn't have it on right. Okay, why isn't my fan burning? Might have to investigate that smoke unit. Okay, well, we'll work on it a little later. I gotta get off to work. Okay, well, I did find some pinched wires back over here. That's not our problem. Our problem is this motor. As soon as I put the screwdriver in here and spun the impeller, this thing started moving. So the problem is in these little itty-bitty brushes that are in here. So I'm gonna try to do some microsurgery, see if I can pop this cover off and clean the commutator on here, and hopefully fix it. Wish me luck. Gotta bend back the tabs. There is the itty bitty bitty motor with its tiny tiny brushes. Actually, doesn't look that bad. This connector is fully seated. Let's wipe that up with a little electronic cleaner. Put her back together. Okay, so I got a couple welding tip cleaners. Should work. Hold back the brushes on the inside. That's what these slots are for. Now, put it on the track and we'll see if it'll spin. I could use a battery too, I suppose. I didn't think of that, but this'll work. Oh yes, it's working. It's working good. Battery's working good too. Okay, so this sucker definitely spun up. So let's get those sides peened back down. Put her back together. Whoa, the repairs were a success. The motor is working properly. Let's give it a little test here. A little slow speed. Beautiful. That's kind of cool. You can see the smoke going to the transformer. Very interesting. Very cool. Wow, that's really putting her out now. Alright. Let's send her down the track. Let's see how she does. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Jeremy with Too Many Hobbies.